Welcome to the Tarqaron
concern
podcast. Oh,
oh,
welcome. What?
yes, welcome, welcome,
Welcome.
welcome on, welcome all to the
Yeah,
Tarqaron
to the Tarqaron
podcast.
podcast. We're broadcasting
Is there a year
live.
anniversary? Is there a
Oh,
year anniversary technically?
I guess so. January
Yeah,
2023, we started this little project, the Tarqaron
yeah.
podcast, and we didn't know what it was going to be
the
exactly. We are kind of winging it in the beginning, and it's still
mhm.
transforming every day. You know.
It is. Yeah, we do. I mean, we don't necessarily have a set format for this. To me, I actually kind of like that, kind of freeing in a way because we can just kind of come by. We can throw topics at each other. We can talk about internet drama. We can talk about stuff going on in our lives. We could talk about like topics that maybe maybe discussed a little bit ahead of recording, just to say like, hey, maybe we could do something like this, just to have an idea or something to talk about. And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that it's a little more free form like that. It's
Or
fun.
maybe a wild card topic coming in every now and then.
Mm,
Yeah. So,
happens.
without further ado, yeah, we're broadcasting live over radio. Um,
That'd be great if we were.
Welcome to the Tarqaron podcast.
yes, yes. Here's our first caller.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Cole annoying Navi. What's good, my friends?
Yeah,
What's
we need to
happening,
get
buddy?
scripted calls going, like some like a
Scripted.
already pre-recorded like calls coming in. Oh, we've got one coming in live here. Yeah.
Like,
Anyway. Anyway.
yeah.
Um,
So how's your holidays? How's your New Year's? How'd that all go for you?
Holidays, they were good. They were good. Everything was good.
Nice.
A lot of fun. A lot of great stuff with family, girlfriend, and great festivities. Some good gifts. I got some good gifts for sure. Never
Very
complain
nice.
about that. My
No.
girlfriend, I never have a reason to show it off, but it's like I like collecting lanyards now. It's just like a random thing. I like collecting cool lanyards, and she got me Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door lanyard, and it's got like
They make them?
it's like Mario. It's got all the partners on it, down the lanyard.
What?
It's cool.
That's so cool.
It's so cool.
That's awesome.
But I
I
got
love that.
a lot of great gifts, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my housemates got me some like he always comes up with these wild and cool, interesting ideas. And there's one year he got me like some like stuff on Etsy or something. It was like magnets for like that you could like make a Super Mario Brothers level, and they would have Mario and Luigi on it too, so you can like make those on our fridge. So we have like that on our fridge. But this year he got me like perlers. So I have like Black Mage, a Chocobo, Mog, and those are all sprites from Final Fantasy V and 6. And then the Black Mage looks like he's from just straight from either Final Fantasy 1 or 3. And then a Cactar, and then like a bunch of like different denominations of rupees as well. So he I don't know, he found someone on Etsy that does all that stuff or something. That'd be my guess. And I mean, I love them. They're great. They're all over our fridge now, and it's great.
Yeah.
So
It's funny when you
um,
mention that holiday stuff. I'm like, holidays? It was like that felt like a lifetime ago. I'm like for some reason
it kind of does. No, it kind of does. Yeah.
these last month or a few weeks, I guess, it felt like it's so long.
They felt very long. They felt very long. And I don't really know why, because I've gotten days off. I got Christmas off, and then I had New Year's Day off, and then I had today off too. So it's been such a whirlwind of it's felt like both really long and like no time at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's feeling like it's gonna be another year just like that for me. I don't know. But
Right. Well, I guess we could.
it was that long ago.
Yeah. I guess we could kick it off with this. Since the last podcast we talked about our goals for the new year and stuff. This is kind of a little addendum that was like, why don't we do something like this? And we talked about our gaming goals and everything. So I was like, what if we come in and we give a list of 10 games that we want to complete in 2024, and it's kind of like a little challenge for ourselves. It's not like you have to finish them all or you fail. It's kind of like we'll see it next year how many of the 10 we actually got through, hold ourselves a little
Yeah.
accountable, like no punishment or anything, but hold ourselves accountable in terms of like, we say we want to do these 10 games, so we better not come here next year and have finished one out of the 10 games, so it'll be miserable.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. That would be pretty. It would be pretty miserable.
But we've got like,
For sure.
we talked about a little bit of the kind of games we wanted to play that were missed out on from last year and whatnot. But this will be a more concrete list. They're not all necessarily specific games. I know for me specifically, I have a couple games that are like a game from this series, a game like this, just to give myself a little more wiggle room in terms of like, do I want to say I'll play this specific game in the series and feel like I want to play a different one, but I said this game, so now I'm kind of locked in.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I figure we definitely don't have time to go in depth on each one. We kind of just rattle them off because we know how long we can talk about a list of 10 things. We made a whole 2-hour video on that. Not just a couple weeks ago.
Which is crazy because the video before that we did was way shorter. It was like an hour shorter easily.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that this time.
Yeah, we got to be on it because we have other stuff to talk about. We got to be like snappy with it.
We do.
I'll kick it off with one that I talked about last time as a goal, a gaming goal in general. I'm saying a Telltale Games game. So
okay,
because I already my whole goal was to completely catch up on Telltale Games. So at least have that as one of the slots. I want a minimum of one game, but ideally all the Telltale Games ones I've missed out on the past few years.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
So I say my first one. I think I talked about this last episode too, but one I definitely want to catch up on because of a release that's coming out later this year, and it's not even that much later this year. It's literally just like a month out, and that is the episode intermission of Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's the intergrade version that came out on PS5. I never played that. I played the base game only, and I was working on a hard mode run of that. To try to get the platinum. What I might do is I don't know how this necessarily works if it has separate trophy lists. I don't know if I'm going to go back and play the base game to get the trophies on PS4, or if I'm just going to transfer my save data, if that's even something you can do, which I think it is. I haven't decided that yet, but I at least want to play that episode, so I can get the full context of that, to get Yuffie into the party, which is kind of what happens in that episode, that kind of thing. So I want to get that before Rebirth comes out, literally coming out on Leap Day. So
yeah, I thought about having Final Fantasy VII Remake or Final Fantasy game on my list, but I will just preface that I'm currently playing Final Fantasy 16 again, so I just didn't include it on my list because I'm determined I will finish it. It's not gonna be on the list.
That's fair.
But I definitely
it's not on my list too because it's kind of a self-explanatory thing. No, I lied. I missed it. It is on my list. So that's actually what I went to. So, I was like, I blended. So my list has like, I will spoil it now. I guess I will just say 16 is on mine. It's probably the biggest regret that I didn't play through more of it, because I was really loving it last year. I just had some weird ruts and stuff last year. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired of really liking things and then dropping them. Like, I just realized another game that is not on my list, but Tears of the Kingdom.
That's on my list.
Well, okay, this is a mess. All right, so Tears of the Kingdom was one that I was like, I was super like, wow, this is amazing at the time, and then I had like tweeted about it, like, man, this is such a treat. And it feels like back in that Breath of the Wild feeling when first playing that game. But then it's like, I stepped away from it, and then like my feelings on it had soured a little bit, and like, it's more just the same. But I'm like, no, I need to re-step back into that because I was loving it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I was too.
All right, so we got like 3 or 4 of your games now, right?
Yeah,
Fair.
so let's hear some more of yours now then. Yeah.
But another one, a follow up to last year is I want to beat Kingdom Hearts 2. All right. I want to
Oh,
continue
okay.
the
Great.
continue the series because I have this whole damn collection here. I don't want to just sit on that forever. So I'd like to see the follow up, and I think that'll be very telling if I'm like I want to stick out the series or not. It's because
I,
I've heard a lot of
I'd
good things about that one.
yeah, I'd recommend giving Rechain a try, and
Yeah,
if you're not jiving with the card system, I don't say this for most people, but I'm softening in my maturing age. If it's not jiving with you, just like watch a compilation of the cutscenes or something on YouTube. The gameplay is not really for everybody. It really isn't. I love it, but I'm a weirdo, so
yeah,
if you're not jiving with it, you just watch the cutscenes and then you can just skip right to Kingdom Hearts 2,
for
which
sure.
has arguably the best gameplay in the whole series. So
All right.
yeah,
All right. So another thing I did was I just put straight up a GameCube game because I have like
nice.
GameCube's my favorite system. I collect tons of GameCube games. It's the most games I own. So I have a ton that I haven't even touched. And more in more recent years, it's become more and more like I'm just playing new releases. I'm always inclined to play those more. So I've given less love to retro games. And so I specifically want
Mm,
to touch on a GameCube game. And so I'm kind of leaving it up to, maybe it'll come up in like a Gents challenge or something. I'll have certain GameCube games in the mix or whatever, or I'll just have to pick one out. But definitely want to finish a GameCube game at least.
yeah, that's a good call. Having something retro. I didn't put anything retro on mine, but I do sort of say like again I want to try to beat a game on every console I own. So that's like Dreamcast, Game Boy, like or Game Boy Advance, DS,
Your
3DS.
checklist
So
is
like I didn't
long.
include.
It's long. You don't have any of those
It's a
on here,
long
so
list.
you got the list of 10
Yeah.
plus one for every other retro system
So
at least.
yeah, so the benefit of a lot of the games that I own on a lot of those other consoles is that there are games on there that I know for a fact are fairly short.
Annoying.
And I think to me, like having something that's short is something that will like can easily get me back into sort of the vibe of that kind of system and everything. Like I want to give my 3DS some love again. I love that system.
Yeah.
So no game again, no games on here, but there's some big hitters on this list, and you'll see why momentarily. So I think that's 3 of yours and 3 of mine, right?
I have 3 of mine. Yeah. I don't know how
Yeah,
many
3
yours.
and 3 of mine. Um, so I think one of the other I don't have any other releases from last year specifically,
Oh, interesting.
aside from the ones I already mentioned.
Okay.
But I have a lot of games that I have at least a couple of games that I've started and have never beaten, and I want to change that this year. One of those is Bloodborne. I love this game, love this game. I have gotten farther every single time I play it. I've gotten farther along, and I want to keep the trend up. So I'm probably going to restart it again, but I want to keep the trend up to beat one of the first like major bosses without dying. I've done that like 2 or 3 times in a row to like my two like Souls friend like the two of my closest friends are like big Soulsborne fans, and they're both like they're both genuinely impressed that I'm able to do that. They're like, hey, I die on him at least a couple of times every time I play this game, and I'm like, not me. I'm beating him. I don't know why. I can just see his patterns like really well. So I want to keep that trend up. Of course, I'm probably eventually gonna jinx it, and I'm gonna die like repeatedly to him. But yeah, I love that game, and I really just wanna finally put time in and beat it. And I think that this is the year. This is the year I got to do it. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
yeah,
just feel like those kinds of games really don't seem like they would be for me, so I haven't even bothered trying any of them yet, so.
it's honestly fair. I mean, they're not really for everybody. That's one thing that like most people who are like, "Ooh, they should have an easy mode," and I'm like, no, they shouldn't. Not every game
They're,
has to be for
they're
everybody.
not for you.
That's
Go sit
okay.
down.
They're not for you. Sit down,
Go sit at the
John.
other
you
table.
know. Sit, go sit the other day. Go sit at the baby table. Anyway.
So I will say just the same. This is my other system that I wanted to do a game off of, and that's the Wii. A Wii is another system where I have a ton of games that I really want to play on it. And I was like looking at like different random little like gems, like Little King Story is one I keep thinking like I want to play that game. Like I have Batman the Brave and the Bold video game.
That's a throw. I remember seeing that in Best Buy constantly for like super clearance too.
Yeah, but there's so many that I've still yet to finish on there, and I love that system as well. So I was like, I'll give myself the freedom: a GameCube game, a Wii game, one of each at least.
Another game that I started and I really enjoyed what I was playing of it is a while ago now, but it's Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
It's another game that I really want to give another try to because I was really jiving with a lot of it. I liked the kind of story. I liked where it was going. I liked the performances. I think Ashley Birch is wonderful. And I just like the gameplay. Well, I was just kind of getting into like when the gameplay is starting to open up a little bit more, and I was playing a lot of Overwatch at the time. I think when the game came out, like I have like the collector's edition of it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Is big game releases. I still tend to do that. I know some people are over it now. I'm still kind of not. I'm actually waiting on my FF7 Rebirth, like to pre-order it because I'm waiting for them to restock that collector's edition. Because they always like Square Enix always does this thing where 2 weeks, it's like a couple weeks to a month before the game comes out. They usually restock it when people like cancellations and stuff. So I'm waiting for that to happen so I can snag it like I did with FF16. So anyway, all that being said, game is really interesting, really beautiful. I was playing a lot of Breath of the Wild, I think, as well, and I just like that game more. But I want to just give it its fair shake. So I was really enjoying what I played of it. It was like 5 years ago now, probably more, 6 years ago. So yeah, give it a shot.
I honestly, I got that for the Tarqaron Cross Utaka Brothers gift exchange. One of those, they gave that to me. And surprisingly, I don't have a lot of the big AAA games I'm missing on this list, like Spider-Man, Last of Us, God of War, all these like big ones I've missed out on. But
yeah, a lot of my list is that, I will say that.
So this could very well come up in a Gents challenge though. Anyway, Yeah. Did you for collector's editions? Did you get or pre-order the Baldur's Gate 3 one?
I haven't yet, but I need to because it's so good.
It's a good value.
You get so much for nothing, and that soundtrack is godly. It is so we my DM uses it in our Pathfinder campaign. It's so good. I can't get over how good it. Like I'm fawning over it constantly every time it comes in. I'm like, this is just the best soundtrack ever. It's so good. And we've been parts of our group have also been playing Larian's previous game, Divinity: Original Sin 2, which is also generally lauded as one of the greatest games ever made, one of the best PC games ever made, one of the best RPGs ever made. So the fact that Baldur's Gate is now coming in and basically kind of taking over that spot. That game has a godly soundtrack too. We've been playing that, and it's so good. Oh, now you froze for me.
Yeah, you froze for me too. Just visually, though.
Okay, well that's good at least.
Weird,
but at least you can still hear it. Yeah, I don't know, weird, but anyway, I need to pick that up. That's not on my list. But I'm almost certainly going to probably play that this year anyway.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest ones I wanted to play from this year. And but I didn't put it on my list because I just don't think realistically I would finish the game this year. But I would definitely like to play it at least. So next up, I will say a AAA game I have on my list, but not a like this past generation AAA. I got Uncharted 2 on my list because I just played the first Uncharted just 2 years ago, so and I enjoyed that one a lot. And of course, Uncharted 2 is the one that was talked about all the time back in the day. So
yes,
I'm looking forward to that one. And yeah, I want to continue some of these
Oh,
series I've started.
definitely. Well, funny you should say that because I have Uncharted Drake's Fortune on my list.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one. Uncharted is like one of the biggest like blind spots, I would say. There's several, but I would say that's the biggest. Because I know it's a series that I would love. Um, I played like a little bit of it at my ex's house. Back however many years ago that whole was going on there, but her brother was playing it. I actually bought him the for his birthday. I got him the Nathan Drake collection for their PS4, and yeah, I had played a little bit of the first Uncharted, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
What tiny little bit of it I played, I was like, "This is good. This is fun."
It's
But
very
yeah,
cool, and it's unlike a lot of games. You know, very cinematic in nature, especially for the time. It was very
yeah,
new and bold. My next game, I just said a blanket. I want to play an indie game at least one indie game. I want to
yeah.
finish. I have so many on my list that I didn't want to narrow it down to one because I like could feel like myself like switching around to which one I would actually play. But I've especially been getting into like cozy games, which tend to be a lot of indie games. Like I just watched a
Mm.
list of like 10 cozy games from 2023 to check out. I haven't played any of them, and there's just so
Was
many out
Chia
there now.
on there?
No,
Was
but
Chia on there?
that's another
No.
one for sure.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's a it's just such a big genre. There's so many great games. Like I just got Eastward. My girlfriend got me Eastward for
Oh
Christmas.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
like very much a cozy game, and then there's also like a more cozy like farming sim DLC coming out for that. So
Oh cool.
it's like there's a lot I could pick out of that, but definitely one. You know, and
Mm.
games like Celeste, which I've been meaning to get as well.
Going off of the idea of cozy, this is a game whenever I think about it, I feel very cozy. I feel very like comforted by it. And it's another game that I started and didn't finish, which is a huge regret of mine because I loved it and loved every second of it, and that's Octopath Traveler,
Hmm.
the first one. Um, that game just like blew my mind with how good the soundtrack was. I loved. I know a lot of people thought like the stories were all disconnected and they didn't really like that, but I actually really liked that for whatever weird reason. I actually like the fact that it's like your companions all have their own separate stories, and it just felt like it felt very. We were just starting our D&D group at this time. To me, it felt like your party is together for convenience, but each person has their own like quest
Yeah,
that they're going on, and I really liked that a lot. I just to me it felt very D&D in a lot of ways. So I think that's kind of I jived with that aspect of it a lot. And the characters are just wonderfully written. So I want to go back to that game. And I know it's not like it can be really really long, I guess, but I don't think it's compared to like most to like some RPGs these days. It's not all that long. I think it's like maybe 35-40 hours or something. So
really, I heard it was long. I'm not sure, but
yeah,
you know,
maybe I could be completely thinking about another game, but I seem to remember it being like not
well,
super
let's
super
let's
long.
let's
But
clear
I don't
this
know.
up.
Yeah, how
We'll
long to beat?
estimate
Yeah,
an estimate at least. So that was
how
perfect.
long to beat's not perfect.
How long to beat says for just the main story, it's going to be 60.5 hours.
Okay, well maybe I'm just thinking about a different game then or something. I don't know what game
Yeah,
I'm thinking
if you're
of,
going to be, if
but
you
that's
want to
okay.
be the completionist, you can do
Yeah, it's a
103
lot more.
hours.
Yeah. I don't know.
um,
Maybe it's because like I felt like I hadn't played it for all that long, and I felt like I was making some good progress with it. So maybe that's why.
that's how they get you.
Yeah, it
It's a
is. It's how
meaty
they get
game,
me.
though. It's like I know people say it's oversaturated and stuff, but I love the trend that it started with, like the style, the art style, and bringing that back, like purposefully
Yeah, the
retro
HD 2D.
style. Yeah,
Yeah, I love it too. I mean, that's one of the reasons why. Maybe I'm thinking of Live Alive. That game is short. I know that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
like a 20-hour RPG. So, but that's another game I'd like to play as well. But no, I love the HD 2D. That's why like Dragon Quest 3 HD is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Um, coming out, which supposedly that's coming out this year. So I'd
But
really like that.
people have gotten so used to it, they're just like, now when they see an announcement, it's like, oh, here's another one. Here's another one. And it's like,
Oh,
man, it's
I
really,
love it though.
it's really pretty too,
Yeah,
It's timeless.
yeah,
But,
for
yeah.
sure.
So, my next one, I guess I'll say, is Life is Strange 2. All right.
Okay.
I wanna get back into Telltale games, but I want to get back into like these more narrative based games as well. I really like Life is Strange, and with me saying Life is Strange 2, that's also assuming I'm gonna beat Life is Strange Before the Storm, and of course Captain Spirit before Life is
Right.
Strange 2 as well. But Life is Strange 2 is the next big pillar I want to get through. I'd like to get caught up in some of these series that I really like, and yeah, I'm missing that vibe that I was so into back in like, I don't know, like longer, like 7 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I know. I remember I was playing the first Life is Strange like after I graduated college. I think it was a year after I graduated college, and it was like 2015 or something like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it was
guess
great. It's
even
yeah,
longer than I'm.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, even longer probably than I'm thinking. Like even the Telltale Games one's been close to a decade since I've been like consistently keeping up with them.
Yeah. Wrapping up some other blind spots. God of War Ragnarok
Hmm.
for me. Um, I tend to. It seems like I tend to play the God of War games like either like 2-ish years after they come out. So like the first God of War like 2018, I played that in 2020. And God of War Ragnarok 2022, I'm probably going to be playing it this year. I feel like I don't know whatever it is. I don't know what it is about it, but it seemed like
Yeah,
even a 2-year breather on it. But yeah, I mean, I love 2018 a lot. Like it's
good year.
up there as one of the greats.
Mm.
Yeah. So well, God of War 2018. 2018 was a decent year too, I guess. I don't really remember it very
Yeah, I
well,
don't
but
remember.
um, um, no, 2018 was a terrible year for me. Actually, it was not. That was a terrible year for me. But um, God of War 2018 was an amazing game, wonderful game, and I love it.
Yeah,
So
I've
I
been
wanna
missing
catch
out.
up on it.
I've been missing out on
Catch
that.
up on it. Yeah.
So my one big 2023 game that I actually have specifically listed for this list is Hogwarts Legacy. I definitely want to finish that.
Ooh, yes, that's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah,
It's great,
the best-selling game of the
especially
year.
yeah. That's crazy to me. Also, like I would never have
Yeah,
guessed that. But after we went through the whole Harry Potter series last year, so it's fresh in my mind. The Wizarding World, get me in there.
mm,
I loved what little I played of it already. It was only a couple hours, but like, yeah, I'm ready for a game like that for sure. And
yeah,
the vibe, I'm here for it. It's
yeah,
happening this year for me.
yeah. Cool. Um, I only got a couple games left. Well, I think one of the other big ones. I have one listed here, but ultimately it could be any of this company's games that I haven't played. I have Control listed, but I think anything by Remedy. I mean, Alan Wake 2 just came out. I
Mm.
definitely want to be playing that. But I can even go back and play like Max Payne 1 or 2 and Quantum Break as well as another one. I don't actually remember if I own that or not specifically. I thought I did, but I haven't been able to find it anywhere. So I might not. So, but I might be picking that one up because I know that was a very out there game when that came out. But um, yeah, I don't know. I love that company. Alan Wake, the first one, just like such a good game. Like I adored it, and um, like that solidified that company for me for the rest of time. I'm like they made this game. Writing's amazing, um, and so I've always been very interested in everything they come out with. My brother's really liked um, pretty much all their games. Like he loves Control, Quantum Break. He really liked too, and Alan Wake 2. I mean, I'm assuming he's played it, so
Hmm.
I haven't really talked to him about it, but
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right. So next for me, I want to beat a Bethesda game. I've
Oh,
never
okay, that's
beaten a
interesting.
Bethesda game actually. I've dabbled in several,
Interesting.
but never beaten one. That's another vibe I'm feeling for sure.
Mm,
There's plenty to choose from, but that's why I kind of left it open because I could see myself going for Fallout, Elder Scrolls. There's a couple different
yeah,
options,
yeah.
and
To me, I think this is one of those ones like you were talking about games that aren't for you. I
yeah,
think that's Bethesda's really not for me.
hmm,
Like I think I've kind of determined that over time. If I'm gonna be playing or beating one of those, I almost guarantee you that it's not gonna be one of the more recent ones. It's probably gonna be like Fallout 3 or New Vegas or Morrowind.
yeah,
I watched my housemate play Morrowind recently, and I was like, this game looks awesome. Like it's so old, like it feels old. Like it feels old to look at it and watch it be played.
yeah,
But I was like, but I love it though. Like I really love the vibe. It's just a vibe for sure, especially Morrowind.
yeah.
Um,
I've loved what I played of Morrowind and Fallout 3 both. And
mm,
yeah, it's something so funny about how like these are such big games, but you look back like people meme them to death, like Oblivion, how the NPCs work and
Stop!
stuff.
You violated the law. Yeah.
Like the way it's like terrifying how they zoom in and
Oh, I love.
the
Yeah,
face.
that's so memey for me. I love that too. Yeah, it's
But
just like,
dude,
oh my god, it's very funny.
and like the
But
dialogue trees the characters go through, it's like it's
mm,
so it's definitely dated at this point, but there's such
oh
a
yeah,
certain charm to it. I want to
yeah.
fully go through and say I've beaten one. So yeah, yeah. And Skyrim, I mean, the one of the biggest games ever, one of the most popular games ever. That I've never played past
Yeah,
like a half hour or something of that
it's wild because I think maybe I would give Fallout 4 the try, and you know what? The only reason that I say that is
because of the name. The robot can say all the
no,
names. Oh,
no, I own the Pip Boy edition of it. I bought the collector's edition of that
oh,
game
yeah,
because I like the fact that it came with a Pip Boy. I was like, that's awesome. I mean, you have to put your smartphone in it or whatever, but I was like, that's the coolest thing in the world. It comes with a
hmm,
little thing that you can integrate with the game. I was like, that's really neat, and it takes place in Boston. I know that area super well,
yeah. And Fallout
so
76 went to Atlantic City. I know
yeah.
that.
Too bad that game is not good.
But Fallout 4, I
Mm,
remember being all in at the time. Like I played the
yeah.
beginning of it, but I was all
Hmm.
in on this. The freaking robot can say whatever name you put in, you fuckface.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
this
pretty
is the
hardcore.
future. This
Yeah.
is the future. Give it to me. And then like
Yeah.
rarely see that. I haven't seen it since.
Yeah. No.
Uh, all right, what you got?
Oh, cool.
This is your
So I
last
think
one.
this is last for me. So this is a big one for me. This is a really big important one. I don't know if I'm going to get around to it, but I want to say this, want to put this on the record and just talk about it. And that is
Okay.
Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13.
Mm.
I've never beaten this game. I've never finished the saga of my favorite game of all time. I've never done it. I don't know. I don't know what the excuse was at the time. I like to think that it has something to do with the fact because I got really close to the end of that game. Like I was within like the probably maybe like 5 hours of beating it. But I don't know if it was just subconsciously I didn't want the story to end. And so I still don't know what the ending of that game is. I've never really looked stuff up. I've never had it spoiled. Um, but it's 10 years. It's the 10th year anniversary of that game releasing this month, actually, in January. It came out on the 3rd. I can't think, feel like it came out on the 29th, if memory serves. It came out on the 29th or something like that. Maybe it came out in February, but I think that was 13-2 came out in February. I don't know. Anyway, in order to do this, what I really want to do is go back and play through the 3 of the games again. So I was working. I remember it was probably in 2020, which was the 10th anniversary of 13 releasing. I was playing through. I started playing through 13 again, and I didn't get super far. I only get maybe like 8-9 hours in or something. So I want to go back and start that over again on the PS3, and then I want to play through all of them on the PS3 again. Since I did I beat them all in the 360. So, but that's kind of like my big thing. I really want to go back and just try to actually finish finish the saga.
Hmm.
So, and watch, after I do that, then they're going to announce. There are some rumors that they are going to announce a 4K, like an HD
Really?
remaster of those,
Wow.
which I think would be wonderful. Those games still look great today. I think they're pretty ahead of their time in terms of like, especially in terms of like character models. I would say they were very um, super high fidelity character models.
Yeah.
Kind of, which I would actually say the same thing for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like all of the character models in that game, like the main characters, all look like PS5 characters on the PS4. And I would say the same thing for most of the 13 games as well. They all looked like PS4 characters on the
Hmm.
PS3 on the PS3 and 3. So they just look great. I mean, a lot of anyway, I could talk about that for a while,
Yeah,
but yeah.
for sure. My last game that I have on my list is a Dragon Quest game. All right.
Ooh, I like your thinking.
These are the vibes. I'm feeling a lot of different vibes. I mean, this is a very varied list I have going here, but I've been feeling Dragon Quest vibe. I've been feeling Bethesda vibe, Telltale Games vibe, all over the place. But Dragon Quest is one where I've played a few of them, not too many, but I have a bunch of them, and I really like them. I mean, it's like one of the last like pillars of like the classic turn-based RPGs out there, and Dragon Quest 9 is one I truly love, near and dear to me. But I did one of my stupid things where I played all the way to like the final boss and then stopped. One of those.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun to play back when it first came out and you could play multiplayer with that and everything.
That was like before Street Pass was a thing. It had Street Pass basically.
Mm-hmm. But like
It was
me and my
pretty
brother
amazing.
would play together. Like you'd play together. But really cool thing at the time was that you could like customize your outfits and like your equipment would actually change your appearance,
Yeah.
which was very rare at the time.
Yeah.
And still,
Especially for a Japanese game.
yeah, still a little too rare in my opinion. I really love when games do that. But that's just one of my options. I also got gifted Dragon Quest 4 and 5 on the DS from Cole back when we did our Secret Santas back in the day. And
Boy, those games are really expensive now.
yeah. And Dragon Quest 8 I would like to play as well. And of course the newest one, I don't have it, so I don't know if I'm able to dish out the money for it right now, but Dragon Quest 11 would be great. Okay, you froze for a second there.
You froze for a second too.
But Dragon Quest 11 would be great for sure, but I might probably I want to go back to Dragon Quest 9 and properly finish it. Would be my first gut instinct, but whatever I'm feeling. All right.
Cool.
That's our list. That's our 10 list. We can come back next year and see how we did. All right.
See how we did. Yeah. But
I have a lot of variety here, so I know I'm at least going to check off a couple of them. It's not like I'm not going to be feeling this whole list at any given time. There's so many options all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, mine's a lot of AAA games, and they all have their own issues. But I like to think that I can fill in like different, like indie games and stuff in between. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. But I do want to try to tackle like some of the big games that I've missed out on over the course of the last few years. So.
And of course, we have like the Gens Challenge cycle, which tends to be like 3 Gens Challenges a year. And so by the nature of that, if we complete those, we're at least completing 3 to 6 games, and maybe there's some overlap there. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, we'll say in terms of games I've been playing recently, going off, we were talking about Final Fantasy 16. So I said I've been playing that, but I've been playing that, dual wielding that with another Final Fantasy game, Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. So,
very cool. I've been doing the same thing actually. Well, not with 16.
And I'm happy to say
I've been fulfilling another obligation. Theater Rhythm.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that I finished my first Final Fantasy game, Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. Yeah.
I don't know if that counts. But that game is
counts.
Pretty amazing.
It's in Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. It's one of the series, Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy series. All right.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
I have plenty left. I'm not going to be putting it down at all. It's because like when you technically beat it, is basically beating the Theater Rhythm series of songs, and then it's like I still have like 12 games left, game series left to go through,
And
and
there's
like
so much
so
DLC.
much, yeah. There's so much content to this game, and I've also not dipped into more difficulties. I want to go through with the harder difficulties too, and so
Mm.
I got no shortage of content to go through with that game. But I've really been enjoying that, and that alongside Final Fantasy 16 when I want to play a game on the screen. Like I've been using the handheld for the most part with Final Bar Line, and it's really nice.
Oh, nice.
So
So you have it on the Switch then?
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
okay,
it's
nice. Well,
ironic
that's
because
great.
I wanted it. I really wanted the PS4 version. I went to GameStop and they did not have it. Like at a
Mm.
couple of GameStops around here, and they only had the Switch version. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll do that. But it paid off because I used the handheld version a lot. It's very easy for
That's
that
good.
game.
Yeah, to me it seems like it's a pretty good. It's interesting. It's strange that they don't have touchscreen integration. It's maybe a little too bad, but I think the controls work great the way they
Yeah, I
have
was
them.
very nervous going into it. Like especially because like the curtain call really did well with using the stylus to do it. So I'm like, how are you gonna translate that to the Switch?
Mm.
But they did it well. And yeah, no complaints with the controls really. And like you can't. It's hard to have any complaints about this game. It's like a massive library, over 300 songs, and some of the best video game music in history. So it's like
Yeah.
it's killer. It's one of the best rhythm games I've played. Period.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anything
I
else
mean,
you've been playing?
I love the highlights of that game. How they highlight something. It's funny that some of the where some of the missing characters and stuff I
Hmm.
find like kind of funny. Where it's like, oh, why is Sid not in from Final Fantasy VII? There's no Sid. He's not one of the companion
Hmm.
characters. Or like, why is like I don't know. It's funny seeing the characters that aren't your playable
It's funny because I don't really
characters. It's
know.
just kind of
Like
funny.
I don't. A lot of these games I
Yeah,
don't know of the characters, so I'm just along for the ride.
yeah.
And it's like whatever.
Well, it's funny because
Whatever
there's
they
like, oh,
say.
there's multiple versions of Cloud and Tifa, and it's like, where's Sid?
Yeah.
Give me Sid.
Yeah.
So other game I've been playing is I'm fulfilling my obligation to having not participated in the Gens Challenge
Hmm.
last time, and the fact that everybody made a historic Gens Challenge, everybody succeeded, everybody passed,
Yeah.
everybody was a Gent. So I've been working on the Platinum Trophy for Balan Wonderworld. So I've been playing that game. I've been playing that
Yeah.
game a lot,
Oh yeah. You love that
and
game.
it's kind of driving me. I do love the game, but it's gotten to the point where it's becoming very, very frustrating now for me. Um, it's it's just so annoying. The what's really annoying is that you get hit and you just lose the costume, which means you have to grind costumes. And the problem with that is that when you go into a level and you go to the place where you get a costume, you then have to get a key. You have to like go get the key and then go get the costume again. And the problem is the key doesn't respawn for like 30 seconds, and then the costume doesn't respawn for another 30 seconds. So you have to like wait around all this time, and then if you have two of the same costume in your set of three, then it won't spawn anymore. So then you have to go back to the selection area, which is only this one zone. They only have like certain zones throughout the levels, and you have to go and get that, like switch it off if you accidentally have the multiple costumes on your readout. So that's really annoying.
Mhm.
What's especially annoying is that then when you then get the costume that can completely break the game, it breaks the game in the sense that like you can just explore everywhere pretty freely. The problem with it is that if you accidentally get hit by something, you lose it, and then you have to go through this complicated, it's not overly complicated, but this annoying process of having to gain access to it again. And that's really annoying because that just takes time to grind. Basically, you have to grind to get to it that again. So that's annoying. And then you have to do more grinding to uh if you lose one of the quick time event things. So yeah, basically the game has these collectibles, they're balance statues. So the problem is that a lot of them are locked behind what's known as balance bout, and essentially that is a quick time event. You have to get it perfect. You have to do it perfectly in order for you to get the statue, which means that you have to get all of them perfect. And the problem with this is that there's one in the first 4 levels, there's 2 in the next 4 levels, and then there's 3 in the next 4 levels. So that's doing a little math here. So that's 12 in the last 4 levels, followed by another 8. That's 20. So there's 24 of those quick time events, and they're long. They go on for like upwards of 90 seconds. You have to sit through them, and sometimes you only have 4 prompts in the first levels, 5 prompts in the second levels, and 6 prompts in the. This game, for the target demographic, this game is asking an awful lot of its target demographic to try to unlock everything in the game. It's demanding so much from you, because if you lose them, you can't retry it again. You have to beat the boss, the main boss of the whole level, in order to set the world back to its original state again, so that you can go back into it again. So if you lose it, you then have to beat the boss, and then you go back to it. If you lose it again, you then have to go back and beat it. It's so annoying. It's such frustrating game design. For a game that already is I have problems with, even though I really enjoy it, even though I already have problems with it, it's just making it so much more frustrating. Like, this game, there's so many things that I could have, if I had been on the dev team, if I had been involved, I mean, there's all kinds of things that I would have been like, no, you guys should change this because this is a problem.
So you sticking to your deadline of the end of this month, or what? How's that?
Stick of my deadline, and I think I can easily do it. I'm honestly, I'm not too far away now.
How many are left?
So, I don't remember. I not very many. I think all of the trophies that I have now, I've gotten all the Act 3 trophies, so that's all done. I only have Balin bouts left. Those are the only the Balin statues that I have left, are only ones that are locked behind those. And then everything else is just going to be cleanup. There's some other extra, like, stupid little things that I have to do that are really annoying. So I'll have to do that at some point. But those shouldn't be all that difficult. It's mainly just patience at that point for most of the rest of them. So I don't imagine it taking more than another couple of sessions, probably. So for me to do.
All right. Well, we'll hear about it on the next month's podcast for sure.
Yes, you will. And I'll be one of the few people in the world that has a Balan Wonderworld Platinum trophy. It's a super low percentage on PSN. It's something like, I think it's like it's like in the 1 to 2% range. Yeah. So if even that. Yeah.
Fair. So before we get into anything else, I think we should definitely touch on the Film Buffs Challenge, which has started in.
Oh yeah.
We're halfway through on the Discord. All right, it's the challenge where we're each partnered up and we assign 5 games plus a bonus game for Supreme Buff, and then you have a month deadline to finish it. So we're recording right now on January 15th, so exactly the halfway mark between the end of the challenge. And Alec, how is it going?
I've made zero progress. I've made zero progress. A lot of it has been because I've been focusing on Balin in most of my free time.
It's gonna kick you in
early on in the month
challenge, huh?
Yeah, I certainly will. Well, I actually have plans for it moving forward for like the rest of the month. In order to succeed at it. Basically, like, another problem I have is that, like, there are movies I want to watch before I watch the movies on my list. So I have plans
that's a rookie mistake on your end.
No, how is that a rookie mistake on my end?
Because you're gonna give yourself, you could potentially fail because you put things on your list that you need to finish things before you get them.
Yes, but look at our friend Thanos, who's watching like 15,000 movies in the month of January so far. I think he's watched at least.
You're not built like him, though.
No, I am not built like him. I don't know what he's doing for work. I don't know. I'm not built like him, but I'm taking inspiration from that. I know I can. Yeah. If I watch, like, even after recording tonight, if I watch a movie, I'll be good. I'll be on the train already.
You're good.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do.
Yeah, I'll be good. I'm good to go. Well, I don't know if you remember what happened last time, but I watched like all of those movies, like all the movies that I needed to, within like the span of like 5 or 6 days.
You love
Like
to
I had like a
cram.
week left, and I able
You
to do it.
love to
I do like
cram.
cramming.
A
It's fun.
procrastinator
It's
through
fun.
and through. It's in your
I
blood.
sure am. You're darn straight.
So,
So
I mean, I'm not out of the woods yet, so let me not
no,
speak too soon.
no, you're
But
not.
I have watched 3 of my movies. But I've already, when I went into it, I'm assuming I'm doing all 6. I'm going for Supreme. So
Hmm.
I even watched the Supreme movie before some of the other movies, which is generally not
Okay.
advised, but it's because my girlfriend and I were looking for something to watch, and she's probably not going to watch a couple of these other ones with me. So Leave the World Behind on Netflix seemed like more up our alley to watch together.
Sure.
So far,
Sure.
I
Yeah.
started with Death Note, the 2017 Netflix adaptation. All right.
You poor bastard. You. You
It's
poor.
horrible. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be such
So
a fun movie for us to review because it's like there's so much that I would love to break down why almost every aspect of this movie like does when they do things differently, they do them poorly. It's like insulting to the source material. Like Light as a character is not at all like he was in the
no.
show, in the manga. It's like, but every aspect that they change about the characters and the story, it's like, oh, I didn't like that. Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, I definitely didn't like that. It's like, wow, how do they do that? I feel like they had to have. It almost feels like a movie they had to have intentionally done this badly for it to ever happen. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I remember the discourse around that movie when it came out among like the anime sort of YouTubing community.
Hmm.
And it was interesting because I saw a more split reaction than you might expect for being as divisive of a movie it is. Because as in terms of an adaptation, pretty much everyone was in agreement that it was not very good. But people were analyzed it for think about it as a movie on its own terms, not necessarily just as a Death Note adaptation, but think of it as like Death Note USA versus like an actual adaptation of the source material.
Oh no,
And
I
from what I
agree with that.
understand, if you look at it from that way, it maybe is not like a great movie, but it's a more enjoyable movie. That's from what I remember, that's kind of the vibe of that. But again, I haven't seen it. I can't judge. I wanted to see it out of morbid curiosity
Hmm.
because I mean, I really like Death Note a lot, but uh, when I
I
heard the
mean,
reaction, I was like, oh boy, it sounds to me like they butchered it,
I get what
baby.
they're saying, but no, just no.
Respectfully, no.
No, it's a shit movie.
Yeah.
It's like I try to look at it like, okay, well, as a movie, how things are progressing. Um,
Mm,
but it's like I can't like still at the core of the characters. These 2 main characters we have, it's like they're so unlikable, and it's not like oh, you're like despicable, like the Light, like you don't like how Light should be. It was like
yeah.
truly did not really add up. Like they're like from how we got to point A to point B. Like there's no, it didn't feel natural there. If you want to go for this story, it's like it turned into this weird teen drama stuff. Like what are we doing here? I was it was like I wouldn't be surprised if you told me like the makers of Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie made this movie. I really wouldn't be surprised. It's like very
Wow,
similar vibe to
that
me.
bad?
Yeah,
To Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
similar
That's
vibe was like is like the way they see like these teenagers interacting and the way things are handled. It's like so immature to me.
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
But
you started off with a
I
rough
mean,
one, by the
I
sense.
truly think that that's like how I would describe it. It's like if the Diary of a Wimpy Kid director got his hands on Death Note, what would happen? Yeah, that's what you get. I mean,
Wow.
it's rough, really rough to
That's
me.
what
I
you
would love to review it and really break down everything that's wrong with it, but um,
maybe someday.
also watch Kiki's Delivery Service, which was
Oh,
much more
nice.
pleasant. Well, and you're frozen for a second. There, you're back.
Wait, yeah, it was like I watched Kiki's Delivery Service, which was I was like, oh no, what was
I
it?
watched
What was
Kiki's
it?
Delivery Service, which was oh
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Ken.
Oh
Uh,
god. Why?
which was pleasant, much more pleasant than
Oh,
Death Note
yeah.
was.
It's a delightful little movie. I
It's a
like it a
cute
lot.
movie, right? Like in
Yeah.
terms of like the overarching story, I don't think there's like much there, and I'm surprised they didn't flesh it out more. But I think it's cute if you just like view it in a vacuum and like the little story it tells. And I really appreciate the vibe
Yeah.
of it.
To me, it's a lot more. It's a story about like it's more about the theme than it is necessarily about like the plot, and that's the way like a lot of Miyazaki films kind of work. I think.
Hmm.
I think Spirited Away might be the one with maybe the best through narrative. Which
Yeah,
really
that's true.
ultimately is also just a story about growing up in just a totally different way. Kiki's Delivery Service is the same. It's very much about growing up, but it's more from a taking responsibility sort of thing, whereas it as opposed to necessarily like different ways of viewing the world and maturing in a different way. Spirited Away is, but yeah, I Kiki's Delivery Service is very charming little
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, and then Leave the World Behind was very weird. It's one of those trendy Netflix movies. Like it was like number one when I popped on there. It
Oh
was like
yeah,
number one movie on Netflix.
yeah.
It was really cool and really, but it did this weird balance. It tried to strike a weird balance, but I don't think it was 100% successful at of like um,
Mm.
thought provoking and building like tension, um, and actually like suspense. Also balanced with like over the top, like really out there, like um, wacky directing and stuff. It's really hard to explain until you watch it, and then the ending is really something. I mean, can't really say much.
It's really something.
It's really something, but I don't know. It I liked a lot of what it was. I thought it was really cool, and I was engaged throughout. But I just don't think if it
Mm.
all together came together as like a perfect product. But I still enjoyed it. But yeah, the other movies I have to watch now are The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Thor: Dark World, and Treasure Planet. Right, three very
That's a
different
heck of an
movies.
assortment
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah, which like
Yeah, you got. Let's see. That's a.
I got paired with Thanos, who I've said in the past it's like a randomizer. I might as well have just thrown my movies in a randomizer. You know, it's about as predictable as it can be. I know, I know. It's a moment of silence on that. What is going on?
Back.
So I don't think it's my. I don't think it's on my end. Then I mean, I changed my whole Wi-Fi. I tried both ways. There's no ways. It's me again.
Well, I don't know what. I couldn't tell you what's wrong with me because I'm
What's
fine.
wrong with me?
Like totally fine. I don't know.
Um, but you never know what you're gonna get with Thanos, and
No,
yeah.
absolute wild card that one.
So he literally
Like
gave
a
me Thor:
complete.
Dark World. He's like, it sucks, but you're never gonna really watch it otherwise. And then he gave me a Death Note saying it's I remember it being pretty good. So it's like you really get a mixed bag.
Well, Josh Preps, I think he said that it was that he felt like it was kind of underrated a little bit, but or that he
He
liked it more than people said.
he can go. He's all right.
He's an okay dude. Well, hey,
Wow.
Thanos has been just like wilding in the Discord about stuff. So
So
yeah,
yeah, I gave him
true.
a bunch of movies I really liked. So I gave him Knives Out, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Everything Everywhere All at Once, um, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and then John Wick, which I haven't seen, but I thought that would be a nice one to throw in there. And then for Supreme, I gave him Jackass the movie. And of course, he watched Knives Out, and he said it was extremely mediocre and generic. And
Because I think maybe the first thing I've ever heard anyone ever say that
five
about that
stars out of
movie.
10. I love that movie. It was my number one thing that I watched or played in the last year. One of my favorite movies
Yeah,
ever. But I also got that from the Film Buffs Challenge last time, so I was like, I'll pay
yeah,
it forward. I mean, can't go wrong with Knives Out. But
yeah.
I did. But he seemed to enjoy John Wick. But then for some reason he decided to watch Jackass the movie next, and he gave it 0 stars, not a single star in sight for Jackass the movie. um, really, really rough take on that, but
experience for him, I guess. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's interesting that like I get it being like maybe not for everybody. Like you're not gonna like everything in it, maybe. But like to me, it was interesting that it was like he didn't know what it was, and I was like, you do realize what Jackass doesn't have a plot. There's no plot. That's the point. It's just a bunch of guys doing crazy stuff.
Mhm.
Like that's it. That's the whole basis of.
Yeah.
And now in a movie, they have more leeway. They don't have to censor themselves nearly as much. So
Which he hates that.
yeah, but apparently he
These
did.
repressed individuals
I like it.
love getting naked and touching
yeah.
each other. Any excuse to get naked and touch each other. I'm curious his thoughts now on Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
He better freaking give those 5 stars. I swear to God. But
I mean, we'll see.
I don't know.
He'll probably finish them by the time we do the next challenge. He's been watching so many movies. But
yeah, it's actually been very impressive.
it's very
honestly.
impressive. But he's still has 3 movies left, same as me in this challenge. We're in the same level in this challenge somehow.
Yeah.
But your movies you have to watch that my brother gave to you are Bullet Train, Logan, Mean Girls, Tales of Vesperia: The First Strike, Matrix Reloaded, and then Young Guns for Supreme. How you feel about that list?
Okay, so I think for me, I think what I was going to try to focus on first was ultimately continuing something I started, which is going through the X-Men movies, so then I could watch Logan. I know I technically don't have to, but for the sake of like wanting to do that, I was going to do that.
So can you clear this up on your list?
So that to me, hold on.
Yeah.
To me, that's the hardest thing, because everything else is pretty easy. Matrix Reloaded. I can just watch The Matrix again. I know I like that movie. It should be an easy watch so I could watch The Matrix Reloaded. So that's easy too. And then everything else is easy. I mean, it's like Mean Girls, whatever. Bullet Train, easy. Young Gun, I don't even know what streaming service that's on, but
it's Young Guns. I put Young Gun on there, but yeah, he always used to.
Oh.
He really liked that movie. I remember that. But can you clear this up for me? He said you had a lot of X-Men movies on your list. Did you have all the X-Men movies on your list?
No.
Which ones did you have?
Everything that I hadn't yet seen. So it was Days of Future Past onward.
Okay.
So it's Days of Future Past, The Wolverine. No. It was the it was The Wolverine onward, because I think it went The Wolverine, Days of Future Past, be X-Men Apocalypse, and then Logan. I'm probably just going to skip X-Men Apocalypse because I know it has nothing to do with what happens in Logan. Like the Wolverine and Days of Future Past are more important to lead up to Logan because they actually have Wolverine in them. So I've been meaning to catch up to that anyways.
So you could have. Why didn't you put whatever the first one is you haven't seen, the Wolverine, and just leave it at that?
Because I was just listing movies.
Because now you can have an obligation to watch these multiple movies leading up to this one movie.
And that's fine. I'm okay with that.
You love handicapping
it's giving me more of an it's a better excuse to get through the movies at this point.
Well, I better see a W from you at the end of this month then. I mean, well,
you freaking will. All right.
If you're gonna hold an L, then you're gonna know why. Well, unless you just do I don't watch any movies, then it won't be because of that. All right.
Speaking of which, while we've been recording this, Thanos actually just watched and finished another movie.
Thanos.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, he did, and he likes them all more than Knives Out. Goon and Goon 2 both. Yeah. All right, so stay tuned. Next month, we'll hear the results of that, of course. So I was going to bring up another topic that I always wanted to bring in here, a random wildcard topic, but I'm thinking maybe we save that because we've been having these little hiccups. Maybe save it for another time.
Yeah,
and just go to our reflecting on the last month and read some comments. What do you think?
I think that's a good. Good. I think that works for me. Works for me.
What works for you works for me. So in the past month, it's a bit lighter. It's a bit lighter because I think we took a week off or in there somewhere. But
We did, yeah.
we had the Tarqaron Cross Otaku Brothers Gift Exchange 4. We had Survivor Fiji Episode 10, the Edgardo Blindside. We had our top 10 of 2023. We had Box Art Battles Season Finale with Pete Dorr. And then it will have been posted at this point, Survivor Fiji Episode 11. All right. So that's all since the last episode.
Yeah.
What's your highlight of that month? I mean, some solid videos at least.
Has some pretty amazing videos, I would say. I think I'm gonna. I mean, my highlight, I would say, is the gift exchange. I mean, it's twofold. I think because like I don't want to the gift exchange and having Pete Dorr on again. I mean, those are both like super important things to me because it's like getting to celebrate having Pete on, getting to do box art battles, which is my favorite content that we make. But the gift exchange is something that like me and you had the birthday one, and that was really great. But it'd been a while since we'd done one with the Otaku brothers, and well, this time Lauren standing in for Ryan, and I think we just had a really great time.
Yeah.
In general. So
yeah, I can't complain. I mean, there was just icing on the cake for the holiday season. Got some great stuff from there, and great seeing the reactions, all the stuff. Yeah, that's definitely the highlight. But Pete Dorr is also a gift in himself. So
yeah, I mean, it was wonderful to have him on and get to joke around with him and analyzing our choices, our winners from past box art battles past.
Yeah, worth noting that that was, if you aren't aware, like Box Art Battles is a series. We do video game box art against each other in tournament brackets, and usually it's a random assortment. But this time around, we did a season finale after like a 5-year season basically of box art battles. 8 episodes. We had the 8 winners from those and put them against each other. So we decided the best of the best for season 1. And then now we're done the season, we'll be able to have like a fresh slate of guests, new and old, for the next season. Everybody's up for grabs. But yeah, so, and I mean, also, I really like doing the top 10 as well, though it was very scuffed for no particular reason. It was a scuffed top 10, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, the reason was me. I was the scuff. Yeah. 2023 probably wasn't really my year, just in general. And I was not on top 4, maybe in the episode. Like freaking, I decided, hey, I'm not gonna look back through all the stuff that we watched on freaking Tarqaron the whole year.
Yeah, 2 excellent ones right there in the thumbnail. Parasite and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Awful. It's awful. It's shameful.
And also, I mean, just looking at the videos we have here, that was also an excellent episode of Survivor too. I mean, like, what a killer.
Honestly, pretty much, yeah. That all the content we've come out with in the last few times has been pretty amazing. So
episode 11 where Mookie went out, not as exciting, but still fun. All right, let's read some comments. Yeah. All right, this is the part of the show where we read comments from you. Everyone that we can, as long as it doesn't have anything spoilers or that would be better for later things in Survivor. All right. So this is a comment which you've seen at this point, but we got to address it. It's on our Wish review. All right. This is from Super Movie Master 21. He said,
"Oh boy.
You know, my friend, I've come to a realization. As of right now, Wish is truly like Santa's bell from the ending of the Polar Express. It can only be truly seen and appreciated with the praise and respect it deserves by true Disney fans." Smiley emoji. That's a crazy comment. I've never seen anything quite like.
That might be the craziest comment we may have ever gotten.
I mean, it's a beautiful analogy. truly is.
I like the analogy.
It's like
It's
Santa
wonderful,
Bell from
except
the
it's
Polar Express.
wrong on so many freaking
You're
regards.
gonna make such a pull, such a reference for Wish. This is what the hill you're dying on.
Yeah. But it's interesting that you take a movie that's also highly divisive, like The Polar Express, a movie I adore. I love that movie
It's
to
divisive.
death
I didn't know
and
that.
back. See,
I
it's
mean, it's
divisive in the sense that,
terrifying,
like,
but it's a good movie.
it's terrifying because of,
The
like,
faces.
in what
yeah,
way?
The
Like
faces.
the faces. Yeah, that's it's definitely like it's off-putting. I think in some regards. I able to some for whatever reason. For that movie, I'm able to kind of push past it and see what they're going for more
When
than
we inevitably review it, we're gonna get into those faces, though.
yeah.
But you gotta,
I'm sure
at the
we
end of the day,
will.
you
They're
gotta
pretty
give it up for
terrifying.
you gotta give it up for hot chocolate. Hot.
Yeah, that
Oh, we got it.
the music. I mean, I think the music, the themes, I think everything is
It's
wonderful
a
in that
sweet
movie.
story.
I
Yeah.
really like it a lot. And my but when my family was coming visiting, they said, like, my sister-in-law was like telling me, I remember her saying, I forgot how much I didn't like that movie. And I was like,
Mhm.
what? Why don't
Mhm.
you like it? And she's like, well, it's so dark and scary, and the book, the main book is not like that at all. And
Mhm.
I was like, okay, but it's still a good movie. Like,
Wow, she's
like
I didn't know there were book
animation
truthers for
notwithstanding.
the Polar Express. Like, wow.
Yeah, there are.
Like,
Hey, I
sorry,
love the book
it
too.
does not stick to the original source material.
The book is amazing. I'll
Mhm.
give you credit there, but I think the movie is just a fine piece of media as well. You know, a creepy animation notwithstanding.
Yeah.
I think the just the message. I think the fun, the excitement, the adventure. I think it's a good movie, and I like it a lot.
All this to say
But
that
I have a
Wish is
feeling
not.
that no, Wish is not. Wish is not a good movie.
I don't really get
I'm
it.
sorry to tell you. And I hate this mentality that you have to be what does this mean? You have only a true
True
Disney
Disney
fan
fans.
gets it.
True
No,
Disney fans
does it
will
mean
get
I have
that
to
reference where he's in Peter Pan clothes at the
I,
end.
I have to simp for Disney to
Yeah.
be a true fan? Like I'm not loyal to the company as a brand. Like,
Right.
I love Disney,
Yeah.
but they're not paying me anything to talk about stuff I love about it. But I am also critical of it too. They've more or less like tanked Star Wars in recent years.
Well,
Like, interest in that is kind of diminished, I would say. And, like, they haven't been exactly kicking it out of the park in terms of a lot of their animation divisions recently, which is unfortunate. Marvel's also suffering some hits these days. This is like, and like, I'm somebody that I liked the terrible Ant-Man movie that everyone didn't like, and I thought it was fine, but I can also understand like why people didn't like it. Like, I'm not like loyal to Disney for its sake. Like, I don't understand like why I have to love all the movies to be a true fan. It's like, no,
no, this
that's
one
stupid.
can only be appreciated by the true fans because it's so
But
rich with the
why?
references. I don't know what it
But
is.
it's not.
No, it's not. But
But it's not. It's terrible. It's
that's
a
what I'm saying.
terrible,
That's what I'm
embarrassing
saying.
movie
If you
to
really
be its 100th
appreciated the
anniversary.
dwarves, then you would appreciate this movie and give it the respect and praise it deserves. That's
No,
really
it was
weird.
it made me sad. The movie,
This
like,
comment.
thinking about, here's the thing. Did you see, this is something that I watched and I like cried practically to this. And it was a short that they did for the 100th anniversary.
No, I didn't see it. I remember you mentioning it, but
It was amazing. It is it self-indulgent? 100%. Absolutely self-indulgent. Did it matter? No. It did its job. It celebrated the legacy of the company perfectly. Better than Wish ever could dream of doing.
could ever wish to. But
It could ever wish to do. It's true.
is there a place to watch
So,
all these shorts? Are they on Disney Plus, like the shorts?
what shorts?
Disney shorts.
Disney shorts? Like, just in general?
Yeah. You just
Yes, you can
mentioned the
watch certain
short.
Disney shorts on Disney Plus. Oh, I mentioned the short that they produced for the 100th anniversary specifically.
All right,
But
but that's not on Disney
um,
Plus.
no, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
So yes,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right.
Yes,
But
yeah. You can watch it on Disney
not
Plus.
all
Yeah,
the
I sorry.
shorts are on there.
I don't know. Well, I mean, there's probably a backlog of certain Disney shorts that aren't on there. There's a lot of them are.
That'd be fun to
The
go
difficulty
through.
cup. Yeah, I mean, like you can watch like obviously Steamboat Willie's in the public domain now, so you can watch that wherever. But um, there's like a whole slew of like old Mickey Mouse cartoons that you can watch on there, and um, I don't know if they. I don't believe they have a whole back catalog, which to me I don't understand why not. So many of them, like I grew up watching a bunch of Mickey Mouse. I like the Pluto stuff, Chip and Dale.
But I
Like
mean,
I
like,
love a lot of those
I
those
mean,
old
like,
ones.
you know,
But
Lava. You know, I remember seeing Lava was on
yes,
there. Those
yes.
newer
So
ones.
all the Pixar shorts are on Disney Plus. Yes.
Okay.
Um, yeah. They also have ones that are obviously the Disney Plus exclusive ones are on there too. Um, but
So
yeah, all those shorts are on there.
we should go through all the
Because
Pixar shorts.
when we did when me and my housemates were going through our whole everything Pixar, we did that. We watched all the shorts with the that accompanied each feature too. So
Yeah, we
yeah,
should
I would be
go
down to
through
do
it
that. I
here.
love them. They're wonderful. So
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
most of them are. So
But yeah, I don't look at this comment. I wish they would tell us what's so special that we're missing
yeah,
out on
what is it?
here.
What is it that I'm missing about Wish?
Yeah. All right. Next
Movie's
comment.
mid AF.
Yeah. Next comment is on our 10 YouTube channels we recommend. Blinkgoom commented because shouted him out on there. He said, "Appreciate the love, fellas. Always glad to hear folks are enjoying the videos. Great picks all in all, too. I'm also a big fan of HCG and Action Buttons, so nice to see some familiar faces in there."
Mm, yeah, love me some Tim Rogers.
Yeah, yeah. I have to check him out still. I think I did started watching one of his videos though when you recommended it.
You did you play through Final Fantasy VII all the way? I'm trying to remember. You
Final
did.
Fantasy 7, no. I played like a solid. I played like a solid 15, 20 hours, but definitely not
Okay.
finished.
Okay. I can't remember because a slow translation of Final Fantasy VII goes. It is more or less the quote unquote entire game, but it's really actually not the entire game. Um, so once it reaches a certain point, it basically the end of disc one is pretty much the end of is sort of where he ends the series. Um, and so if you've reached like that point of the game, then I would say it's probably fine to watch it. But
Okay.
I'm actually that's one of the things I want to watch through again because I like to watch through that series every so often. So I want to do that again too, just to make sure I'm not misremembering.
So on episode 9 of Survivor Fiji, Message Not in a Bottle, where Michelle got voted out, we got a comment from Chase Ferrier, as always. He said,
Very cool.
Michelle definitely got screwed with this twist. Yeah, we were definitely blue-balled with the dynamics of the tribe, but this set the stage for an even better vote next time, which was the Edgardo one, right? Yeah, the Edgardo
Yeah,
one.
it was. Yeah, yeah, that was pretty solid. Yeah, very exciting.
And then he said, Michelle is also very cute. I agree with Alec wholeheartedly. LOL. Also,
there we go.
on a side note, this was perfect timing for the upload as I'm going through some shit right now and was having a rough day. And I love watching Survivor with y'all, so this helped a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I hope
Awesome.
things are going better for you. And yeah, I mean, glad that we're able to offer a little distraction and relaxation for folks.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand that with a lot of the YouTube that I watch too. So yeah.
Thank you for sticking with us. I mean, he's been here from near the beginning, like years now.
Yeah.
On our Tarqaron Cross Otaku Brothers Gift Exchange 4, we got a comment from, I could never known how to pronounce this. Giris Awesomer. Girisawesomer.
Geary is awesomer. Gur
Girisawesomer.
is awesomer.
Yeah.
Gur is awesomer. Maybe like Gur, like from Invader Zim.
Maybe. They said Alex should definitely watch Lost. The twists and turns of that show provide some of the greatest television experiences, even without the top-tier week-to-week theorizing and discussion it was known for during its airing. I think the more modern format of shows minimizing the number of episodes each season and releasing entire seasons at once to binge has really made it difficult to foster the same large-scale theory crafting community that Lost did. Yellow Jackets is a recent show that I think handled it decently. It's been fun to see community form around solving the show's mysteries in real time. Yeah, you do need to watch.
It's true that there is a definite lack of water cooler talk, for lack of a better word, or like discussion for shows. I mean, like, because I remember that happening with like Heroes. I remember that happening with because that was like big in high school. When I was in high school, that was a really big show.
Really?
I know Lost was the same way. I mean, I didn't really necessarily, because I wasn't watching it, I didn't pay much attention to the discussion, but I knew people were talking about it a lot at school. So, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it a few years back at this point, several years back, but like 2017, 2018 or something. And yeah, so I missed the whole boat on the theory crafting stuff, but it was still a lot of fun. I mean, we ended up binging a lot of that together, like my family and I. We just got hooked. So we definitely missed out on that part of it, but obviously had appreciated it just as much. But yeah, there's definitely a difference in how people take content and television in general now. Because it's like, now I'm at the point where I'm like, certain shows where they release batches or the whole season, I'm like, I don't even want to be part of the discourse online, because if I'm not fully up to date, I'm going to get something spoiled inevitably. It's like I almost have to steer away from it.
Yeah.
It's much less common to have a show, the week-to-week theorizing together. But, yeah, Lost is something special.
Might be a show I try to watch through with well, it's going to be hard, too, because there's 6 seasons, but I was thinking maybe it's a show I could try to watch through with my folks before they leave to Virginia, but I doubt that's going to happen at this point, because it's like we have to watch like there's just so many episodes in a season. So
there's 25 episodes, like almost 25 episodes most seasons.
Yeah.
That's
that's the old TV format. Yeah, it's Star Trek's the same way, and that was episodic. This is serialized storytelling, so it's like it's kind of ahead of its time in a lot of ways, I think. So yeah.
And then Survivor 1234 had commented on one of our episodes. He like right as I said it in one of the recordings. He said, also, you stopped doing your power rankings, just a reminder in case you forgot. So like we had this simultaneous realization there.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then Chase Ferrier also on the Edgardo Blindside episode said, one of my all-time favorite Blindsides. All the different layers and complexities to it make it so interesting to watch, even when you know the outcome and gets your heat pumping. Edgardo is one of the rare vote offs where he really didn't do much to deserve getting voted off, other than being in the wrong alliance.
Yeah. No, I think that was such an interesting, that was by far the most interesting episode of the whole season so far, and I really liked, don't want to downplay that for sure. It was pretty fun. So
and it's great that it gets your heat pumping too, because it like saves you some money. A good Survivor Blindside will do that for you.
Stupid. Getting your heat pumping, man.
Another comment on our Wish review from Marcus is, if Wish wasn't made by Disney, it would pass as a good film. Not great, not perfect, but it was enjoyable. The animation was still beautiful, and the songs were nice. The message is positive, and overall a good movie.
I don't know about that though, because it's like maybe it would just be like okay, but like I want more than okay when I'm watching an animated film.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I mean, my first thought when I saw it was that I didn't think the animation was as beautiful as it could have been. You know,
No. No.
It felt very
I think
much like the Ruby like YouTube like animation style almost. Like I could see that.
there's yeah, like I said, I think like I said in the review, there's parts of it that do look genuinely like, wow, that looks really good, and then the rest of them, and then it starts, the camera moves to a different scene, and then it's like, oh, back to this drab looking crap. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
If we went full
yeah,
on 2D hand drawn, we would have had something. We would have had something beautiful there,
yeah,
and at least might have
yeah,
distracted from some of the other things that bring it down. It's like
yeah,
wow, a beautiful 2D movie,
yeah. I totally disagree on the music too. The music was not good. I'm sorry.
but
There's yeah, there are elements of it that I enjoyed, and you can watch a review to see that. But I can't. I wish I liked it more. I wish I liked Wish more, but I just can't. It
yeah.
just wasn't my thing. If it does it for you though, all the power to you.
All right, our last comment comes from my brother Krillin Ball Z on our top
Oh,
10 of
sweet.
2023 video. He said, "My top 10 of 2023 under Zach's format of no reality TV. Honorable mentions: Dungeons and Dragons movie, Mass Effect, Your Name, Film Buffs Challenge, Barbie movie, the BFG, also from the Film Buffs Challenge, and Remember
Hey,
Me from the Gents Challenge."
cool.
I think he didn't mention here, but Mass Effect was also a Gents Challenge, so a lot of the challenge movies in the honorable mentions.
I hadn't watched the BFG. I'm glad you liked it. I think
Yeah.
that movie's pretty wonderful.
Now
Very underrated.
we're going into the countdown. Number 10, New Amsterdam, the final season. I didn't love all of the plot decisions of the final season per se, but I enjoyed the run of this show as a whole. All right, number
I don't
9.
I don't know if I've even ever heard of that show. I'm gonna be
It's
real.
like a medical show, right? It's like
Oh yes, okay, no, I have heard of that. Yeah, it's the one where it's like the hospital. They're like, they're trying to be like, yeah, we're just gonna save people and like nothing about insurance. I remember there being
hmm.
like some development I saw on like TV where they were like, yeah, who cares? We don't care about the insurance. We're just gonna
Oh,
save the
maybe.
people. Who cares? I remember that was like a big plot point in one of the seasons. I don't know, but
Number 9
yeah.
is The Walking Dead, Dead City, which these are like, he's a huge Walking Dead fan. I'm a big
Mm,
Walking Dead fan too. Well, I haven't watched the new, because they have a couple of new series going on, spin-off series that released
mm.
over the last year. And so that's number 9. Number 8, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Number 7,
Ooh.
The Mandalorian Season 3, which I still haven't watched.
Interesting. A lot of people don't like it.
Mhm.
So my parents liked it. They loved it, but I don't know. I haven't
Num-
seen it yet.
Number 6, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon series.
Oh, so he liked both the spin-offs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 5, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Number
Nice.
4, Pikmin 4. Number 3, Super Mario RPG. Number 2,
Nice.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, that wasn't even on my list.
I
I went
haven't
to see
seen
it.
it.
I went to see the movie at the drive-in too. That should have been on my list. I love that movie. I saw it twice.
Suck it. Not even a
What the heck,
Tarqaron
man?
movie.
What the heck, man? What the heck? What's wrong with my brain? I don't know what's going
He
on.
said my top 10 shifted around a lot as I was locking in the list, but my top 2 were my far and away solid top 2. Puss
Mm.
in Boots and Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was amazing. It's like the best thing Marvel's done since No Way Home. So,
Not good enough. I need to see it, though. I do need to see it.
mm.
Um, yeah, so that's all our comments. Thank you for commenting. As always, whenever you
Yeah.
leave a comment, we'll read it in the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast that we record. You know, uh, it might, sometimes it'll line up where you like comment like just as we recorded an episode, so it might feel like we're ignoring it, but we're not. Just takes a month rotation here, so.
Right.
All right, and sorry about the little hiccups here and there. Hopefully, I was able to maneuver a little bit in the editing, but um, come
I'm
back.
glad I didn't do that very much during the Survivor stuff. I will say that
Oh
when we
yeah,
did that running
yeah.
earlier.
I didn't
But
really have that issue at all. Just a couple of
Yeah.
times where my episode did the episode not available,
Yeah, but
and yours actually went perfectly the whole time. So
what the heck?
can't win.
Can never predict it. That's for sure.
It's the annoying thing with Survivor. It's like we just want to watch an episode a week. You know, we just want to sit here and watch an episode a week, and it's just never easy for us.
No.
And then now we've had to
Something fighting us.
also with just my computer in general, I've had to make it harder on myself to edit by having to sync up the footage, and now syncing up the footage with it also stopping a couple of times in the middle is very annoying.
Yeah.
But,
Awful.
all right, well, this was the Tarqaron podcast. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about next month, kicking off the new year here, and yeah, good times.
Very good.
All right, thank you for
Thanks for watching.
joining.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
All right.